Deep within the shadows of the world's most remote forests, an eerie silence hides a world full of danger. From mysterious creatures witnessed by adventurers to unexpected encounters, here are 15 reasons why you should never be alone in the forest. Number 15. Giant Asian hornets. Deep in the forests of Asia, a menacing hum fills the air, the sound of the giant Asian hornet, a formidable insect with a sting so potent it can kill a grown man. Measuring up to 2 inches long with a wingspan of 3 inches, these massive hornets are a force to be reckoned with, especially if you're unlucky enough to encounter them alone. What makes the giant Asian hornet's sting so deadly? It all comes down to the venom. These hornets can inject up to 4 milligrams of venom per sting, toxins that includes a powerful neurotoxin called mandatoxin. This substance can cause excruciating pain, severe swelling, and in some cases even cardiac arrest. But the real danger lies in the fact that these hornets can sting multiple times. A single giant Asian hornet can sting a person up to 40 times in a single attack, injecting a lethal dose of venom. Now imagine being alone in the forest, far from medical help, when you accidentally disturb a nest of these aggressive insects. The pain from a giant Asian hornet sting has been described as feeling like a hot nail being driven into the skin. The venom can cause anaphylactic shock in some individuals, leading to difficulty breathing, a drop in blood pressure, and even death if not treated promptly. When you're alone in the woods, far from civilization, the chances of receiving life-saving medical attention in time are slim. In recent years, the giant Asian hornet has made headlines for its invasion into North America, particularly in the Pacific Northwest. The presence of these murder hornets, as they've been dubbed by the media, adds a new layer of danger to the forests of this region, making it all the more important to exercise caution when venturing out alone. Number 14. Feral wild boar. Beneath the canopy, a different kind of beast roams, one with a temper as sharp as its tusks. STO counting at 3,000, and we probably caught another 700 or 800 since then. Imagine you're hiking alone through a lush forest when you hear a rustling in the underbrush. Suddenly, a massive, tusked beast bursts out of the foliage, charging straight toward you with a wild look in its eyes. You've just come face to face with a feral wild boar, and if you're alone, you're in serious trouble. Feral wild boars, also known as wild pigs or hogs, are descendants of domesticated pigs that have escaped or been released into the wild. These animals have adapted to life in the forest, becoming larger, stronger, and more aggressive than their farm-raised counterparts. An adult male can weigh up to 400 pounds and stand 3 feet tall at the shoulder, with sharp tusks that can grow up to 5 inches long. But it's not just their size and weaponry that make wild boars so dangerous, it's their temperament. If you noticed how calm these pigs got once you got the crazy one knocked out, a lot of times you have 1 or 2 in the crowd. These animals are known for their short tempers and territorial nature, and they won't hesitate to charge if they feel threatened. A wild boar can run at speeds up to 30 miles per hour, making it nearly impossible for a lone hiker to outrun one. The real danger, however, lies in the fact that wild boars often travel in groups called sounders. If you stumble upon a sounder of wild pigs, you could find yourself facing multiple angry, 400-pound beasts intent on defending their territory. When you're alone, the odds of escaping unscathed are slim to none. Number 13. Golden orb spider. Imagine you're hiking alone through a sun-dappled forest when you spot a glimmer of gold in the corner of your eye. You turn to see a web stretching between 2 trees, its threads shimmering like spun metal in the dappled light. At the center of this gilded trap sits a spider the size of your palm, its spindly legs delicately plucking the strands. This is the golden orb spider, a master weaver with a venomous bite. Or the spider, it's injected with paralyzing venom. Golden orb spiders, also known as banana spiders, are found in warmer regions around the world, from Australia to the Americas. These arachnids are known for their impressive size, with females reaching leg spans of up to 5 inches. But it's their intricate golden webs that truly set them apart, glinting in the sunlight like something out of a fairy tale. However, the beauty of these webs belies the danger that lurks at their center. Golden orb spiders are venomous, and while their bites are rarely fatal to humans, they can still pack a painful punch. The venom causes localized pain, swelling, and in some cases nausea and vomiting. For those with allergies, the reaction can be even more severe. Even if you manage to avoid a direct bite, accidentally walking into a golden orb spider's web can be a frightening and disorienting experience. The strong, sticky strands can cling to your skin and clothes, while the large, leggy spider at the center of the web can trigger panic in even the bravest of hikers. In your haste to free yourself, you might take a tumble or injure yourself on the rough forest terrain. Number 12. The tiny ticks with big consequences. Picture this. You're on a solo hike through a forest, reveling in the tranquility of the great outdoors. As you brush past a low-hanging branch, you feel a slight tickle on your leg but think nothing of it. Days later, back at home, you notice a red bullseye rash on your skin and begin to feel feverish and achy. You've been bitten by a tick, and now you're facing the potential consequences. Ticks are small, blood-sucking arachnids. On him, in a couple of bites, you got to be careful. You say that you've already seen some cases. They can be found in forests, grasslands, and even urban parks. These tiny creatures, some no larger than a poppy seed, are masters of stealth, waiting patiently on leaves and blades of grass for a host to brush by. When they sense the heat and carbon dioxide from a passing animal or human, they latch on and begin to feed. But it's not just the ick factor that makes ticks so dangerous, it's the diseases they can carry. Ticks are notorious vectors for a variety of illnesses, including Lyme disease, Rocky Mountain spotted fever, and Powassan virus. These diseases can cause a range of symptoms, from rashes and fever to neurological problems and even death. Now it's time for today's topic. Rumors exploded across survival forums when fans noticed that Bear Grylls quietly stepped away from major jungle expeditions after years of extreme filming. Discovery Channel cited creative differences, but insiders claimed something far stranger happened during a remote shoot near the Madre de Dios region of Peru. Crew members allegedly returned shaken after a night sequence along a flooded riverbank. One cameraman reportedly refused to release certain footage, and production was abruptly cut short. No official explanation followed. Local guides later whispered about an unidentified predator stalking the crew beyond the tree line, something neither jaguar nor caiman. Grylls never addressed the incident directly, but he hasn't returned to that region since. Whether it was politics or something in the jungle, the silence has only fueled speculation worldwide. Number 10. Mountain lions. There's a reason why mountain lions are also known as ghost cats. Most animals, particularly the large carnivores, are moving at night and, there's very little ambient light. We start planning this week. These elusive predators are masters of stealth, silently stalking their prey through the forest until they're ready to pounce. Mountain lions, also called cougars or pumas, are formidable hunters, weighing up to 200 pounds and measuring up to 8 feet long from nose to tail tip. These big cats are pure muscle and agility. They can leap up to 40 feet horizontally and 15 feet vertically, making them well-equipped for taking down prey, including humans. When you're alone in the forest, you're at a severe disadvantage against a mountain lion. These cats are ambush predators, meaning they rely on the element of surprise to take down their prey. They'll stalk silently through the underbrush, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. California pumas are struggling. We've discovered that lions in the Santa Monicas have the lowest genetic diversity. If you're hiking solo, you won't have an extra set of eyes to help spot a mountain lion before it's too late. Even if you do see the cat coming, fending off a mountain lion attack alone is a daunting task. These predators have powerful jaws and sharp claws designed for taking down animals much larger than themselves. A single bite can cause severe damage, and without a companion to help fight off the cat or go for help, your chances of survival are slim if attacked. Experts recommend fighting back aggressively. Make yourself appear large, make loud noises, and use any available objects as weapons. Mountain lion attacks on humans are rare, but they do happen. In the past century, there have been around 125 documented attacks in North America, with about 27 of those being fatal. The majority of these attacks were on solo hikers or runners, highlighting the increased risk of encountering a mountain lion when you're alone in the forest. Number 9. Wolves on the prowl. As the sun sinks below the horizon and the forest is cloaked in shadows, a haunting howl echoes through the trees. The sound sends a shiver down your spine, and you instinctively look over your shoulder, scanning the undergrowth for glowing eyes. You're alone in wolf country, and the night is just beginning. Wolves are majestic and misunderstood creatures, often portrayed as vicious killers in folklore and popular media. In reality, these social canines usually avoid humans, preferring to stick to their tight-knit packs and hunt natural prey. But there are times when wolves can pose a serious threat to lone hikers in the forest. When food is scarce, or when you stumble too close to a den site, wolves may view you as a potential meal or a threat to their territory. In these situations, being alone puts you at a significant disadvantage. Wolves are less likely to approach a group of humans, as there's safety in numbers. But a solitary hiker, far from help and without the support of a companion, can look like an easy target. Wolves are intelligent, fast, and powerful predators. They can reach speeds of up to 40 miles per hour and have jaws strong enough to crack bone. If a pack decides to attack, a lone human stands little chance of fending them off. Without a partner to help you fight or to go for help, your fate is almost sealed. Number 8. The silent killers. Deadfall. This is Deadfall, the trees and branches that come crashing down from above, often with fatal consequences. Deadfall is a natural part of the forest ecosystem, as old or diseased trees shed their limbs or topple entirely to make way for new growth. But for a hiker alone in the woods, these falling branches and trunks pose a serious threat. A single strike from a heavy bough can cause severe head trauma, broken bones, or even impalement, rendering you unconscious or immobile. The risk of deadfall is heightened during storms or high winds, when the swaying of the trees puts added stress on weak points in the wood. But even on a calm day, a seemingly sturdy tree can give way without notice, sending hundreds of pounds of wood hurtling toward the unsuspecting hiker below. In older forests, entire trees can collapse without warning due to internal rot that is invisible from the outside, making even a quiet trail deceptively dangerous. The cracking sound of splitting wood can echo only seconds before impact, leaving little to no time to react or seek cover. In some documented cases, hikers have reported hearing a faint creak above them just moments before a massive limb shattered against the forest floor. Dense canopies can conceal these weakened branches, so you may never see the threat until it's already falling. Areas recently affected by drought, insect infestations, or wildfire are especially prone to sudden tree failure, turning scenic paths into unpredictable hazard zones. When you're hiking alone, the danger of deadfall is compounded by the fact that there's no one to watch your back or to call for help if you're injured. A falling branch that might only graze or startle a group of hikers can spell disaster for a solo trekker, leaving them pinned, bleeding, and alone in the depths of the forest. Even if you manage to avoid a direct hit, the aftermath of a deadfall strike can be just as perilous. A glancing blow can still cause disorientation, concussion, or deep lacerations, making it difficult to navigate or seek help. If you're miles from civilization with no one to assist you, a treatable injury can quickly turn life-threatening. Number 7. The venomous vipers. Picture this. You're hiking alone through a lush forest, enjoying the tranquility of nature, when suddenly you feel a sharp pain in your ankle. You look down and see 2 small puncture wounds, then catch a glimpse of a slithering form disappearing into the underbrush. The diamond-shaped head and distinctive rattle leave no doubt. You've just been bitten by an eastern diamondback rattlesnake, and the clock is ticking. Venomous snakes are a significant danger in forests around the world, with various species adapting to different habitats. In North America, the copperhead, rattlesnake, and cottonmouth are among the most common culprits. The venom is what really makes it so dangerous, not just the bite itself. Many species inject a potent cocktail of toxins that can cause severe pain, swelling, bleeding, and even paralysis. Without prompt medical attention, the consequences can be devastating, and in some cases, fatal. When you're bitten by a venomous snake, every minute counts. The venom spreads through your system, attacking cells and causing a cascade of harmful effects. In a best-case scenario, you'll have a companion who can help you get to safety, call for help, and even apply first aid to slow the venom's progress. But when you're alone, the situation becomes far more dire. Imagine trying to hike miles back to your car or campsite with a rapidly swelling leg, your vision blurring, and your heart racing. Within minutes of the bite, pain and swelling begin at the site. After 15 minutes, nausea sets in as the venom reaches your bloodstream. By the half-hour mark, your leg is grossly swollen and you're experiencing difficulty breathing. An hour in, dizziness and weakness make each step a struggle. After 2 hours without treatment, you may face severe organ damage or even death. The forest's tranquility has transformed into a race against time, with your life hanging in the balance. Number 6. The raging forest fires. Imagine you're hiking alone through a sun-dappled forest. The only sounds are the crunch of leaves beneath your feet and the distant chirping of birds. Suddenly, you catch a whiff of something acrid on the breeze, and a sense of unease prickles the back of your neck. You round a bend in the trail and stop dead in your tracks, confronted by a wall of flames devouring the trees ahead. You're alone, and the forest is on fire. Wildfires can also create their own weather systems. Forest fires are one of the most destructive and unpredictable forces in nature, capable of reducing vast swaths of woodland to ash in a matter of hours. These raging infernos can be sparked by lightning strikes, carelessly discarded cigarettes, or even intentional acts of arson. Once the flames take hold, they can spread with terrifying speed, consuming everything in their path. Forests provide the perfect environment for fires to propagate rapidly. The abundance of fuel in the form of dry leaves, dead wood, and resinous trees creates a veritable tinderbox. Add to this the ladder effect, where flames climb from the forest floor to the canopy via smaller trees and shrubs, and you have a recipe for an unstoppable blaze. Wind can further accelerate the spread, carrying embers that ignite new fires far ahead of the main front. When you're hiking alone in the forest, the danger of a wildfire is amplified tenfold. Without a companion to help keep watch, you're more likely to be caught off guard by the first signs of smoke or flames. By the time you realize the danger, the fire may have already cut off your escape route, leaving you trapped and frantically searching for a way out. The intense heat and smoke of a forest fire can disorient and overwhelm you in a matter of minutes. Embers can rain down from the sky, igniting new blazes in their wake, and the roar of the flames can drown out all other sounds. If you're alone and injured or overcome by smoke inhalation, your chances of making it out alive decrease with every passing second. Number 5. American black bears. Despite their cute appearance and reputation for stealing picnic baskets, American black bears pose a serious threat to lone hikers in the forest. Don't let their seemingly cute exterior fool you. These powerful predators are far from the fuzzy friends often portrayed in media. Weighing up to 600 pounds and standing up to 6 feet tall, black bears are formidable animals. I'm Bucky here. That distinct coloration is already starting to grow in. While they generally avoid humans, they can become aggressive if they feel threatened, especially if they're protecting their cubs, or if they're startled by a solitary hiker who stumbles upon them unexpectedly. The danger of a black bear encounter is compounded when you're alone in the forest. These bears are omnivores, which means they'll eat pretty much anything from bugs and slugs scurrying around on the ground. Without the safety of a group, you're a much easier target for a bear that perceives you as a threat. If a black bear charges, you'll have to fend for yourself, a daunting task considering their immense strength and speed. Fun fact, black bears can run up to 35 miles per hour. Even if you manage to escape the initial attack, being alone in the aftermath of a bear mauling can be just as deadly. Severe lacerations, broken bones, and internal injuries are common in black bear attacks. Not only remember where they found food sources before, but they'll investigate where they believe there might be food. And without a companion to help you get to safety or call for rescue, your chances of survival diminish rapidly. As human populations continue to expand into black bear habitats, the frequency of encounters has risen. Climate change and deforestation are driving these animals into new areas in search of food, increasing the likelihood of a run-in with an unsuspecting solo hiker. While black bear attacks on humans are relatively rare, the potential for a deadly encounter is always present in bear country. The best way to stay safe is to hike in groups, make noise to avoid startling bears, and carry bear spray as a last line of defense. Number 4. Decoy building spider. Sometimes spiders can create an unsettling scene in the wilderness. While hiking through the forest, it's not uncommon to come across what looks like a cluster of spiders on a branch. At first glance, they appear real, prompting a moment of hesitation. But upon closer inspection, these spiders reveal themselves to be decoys, carefully constructed from bits of debris and insect remains. This is the handiwork of the decoy building spider, a creature known for its ability to craft these intricate, deceptive structures in the forest understory. Decoy building spiders, also known as spider-tailed horned vipers, are found in the forests of South America. These small, unassuming arachnids have a remarkable talent for creating lifelike replicas of themselves using bits of debris, dead insects, and even their own shed exoskeletons. The decoys are incredibly detailed, often featuring multiple spiders in various poses, giving the illusion of a group of arachnids at rest. But these decoys serve a darker purpose than mere decoration. The decoy-building spider uses these replicas to lure in prey and deter predators. By creating the appearance of multiple spiders, the decoy builder can trick insects into thinking the area is safe, only to ambush them when they venture too close. The decoys also serve as a distraction for predators, allowing the real spider to escape unnoticed while the attacker is focused on the fakes. When you're hiking alone in the forest and encounter a cluster of decoy-building spiders, the experience can be unnerving, to say the least. Even knowing that the spiders are harmless, the sight of so many arachnids can trigger a primal fear response, causing your heart to race and your palms to sweat. In your haste to get away, you might take a tumble on the uneven forest floor or even run into a real spider's web in your panic. Number 3. The itch. Imagine you're hiking through the woods when a leaf brushes your arm. It seems harmless, but hours later, your skin erupts in an angry red rash. The intense itch tells you what happened. You've met poison ivy or poison oak. These common plants blend in with other forest greenery, but their oily coating can turn a peaceful hike into days of misery. Poison ivy and poison oak are common plants found in forests across North America. These unassuming plants blend in with their surroundings, their glossy leaves often hidden among other foliage. But hiding within these leaves is a potent allergen called urushiol, an oily substance that can cause a severe allergic reaction in up to 85% of people. What makes these plants especially deceptive is how easily they disguise themselves, sometimes growing as vines climbing trees, other times as low shrubs hugging the forest floor. Even in winter, when the leaves have fallen, the bare stems and roots can still carry active urushiol, waiting for an unsuspecting hiker to brush past. A single touch is all it takes, and because the oil is invisible and odorless, you often don't realize you've been exposed until the itching begins. Worse still, the oil can transfer from pets, backpacks, or firewood, spreading the reaction long after you've left the trail. Campers have even reported outbreaks after handling contaminated gear days later, unaware that the toxic residue was still lingering. When you brush against a poison ivy or poison oak plant, the urushiol oil sticks to your skin, clothing, and even your hiking gear. Within hours or days, you may develop a red, itchy rash with swelling and blisters. The rash can be intensely uncomfortable, and the urge to scratch can be almost unbearable. Scratching a poison ivy or poison oak rash can lead to secondary infections, as bacteria from your fingernails or the environment can enter the open blisters. In severe cases, the rash can cover large portions of your body, making it difficult to hike, sleep, or even wear clothing. And without proper treatment, the symptoms can persist for weeks. Number 2. Extreme weather. The weather, one of the most dangerous and unpredictable elements of hiking in the forest, and it's even more treacherous when you're on your own. Storms can roll in with little warning, bringing high winds, heavy rain, and even hail or snow depending on the season and location. Flash floods can turn trickling streams into raging torrents in a matter of minutes, sweeping away anything in their path. And lightning strikes can turn towering trees into deadly projectiles, their jagged branches crashing down onto the forest floor. Imagine standing beneath a canopy that moments ago felt peaceful, only to watch the sky darken into an ominous shade of gray as the air grows heavy and electric. The birds fall silent, small animals scatter, and the forest seems to hold its breath before the first violent gust tears through the branches. Rain begins as a scattered drizzle before transforming into a blinding curtain that soaks your clothes and chills you to the bone within seconds. Trails that once seemed clear dissolve into muddy confusion, and familiar landmarks vanish behind sheets of water and swaying foliage. In that chaos, every decision becomes critical, whether to seek higher ground, hunker down beneath cover, or push forward through the storm. When you're alone in the forest and caught in the midst of extreme weather, your survival depends on your wits and your preparedness. Without a partner to help you set up shelter, build a fire, or navigate to safety, you're left to fend for yourself against the elements. A sudden drop in temperature can lead to hypothermia, while exposure to high winds and driving rain can cause exhaustion and disorientation. But it's not just the physical dangers of extreme weather. Safe today, and we've got these high, warm winds blowing in. And look at that, that looks like a rain squall coming at us. That make it so perilous for solo hikers. The psychological toll of facing down a storm on your own can be just as damaging. The sound of the wind howling through the trees and the sight of lightning splitting the sky can be terrifying, and the feeling of isolation and helplessness can quickly overwhelm even the most seasoned hiker. Number 1. Serial killers in the woods. Picture yourself hiking through a dense, untamed forest, miles from civilization, where the line between predator and prey blurs in the shadows of ancient trees. The stillness presses in, amplifying every rustle of leaves. Then a chill runs down your spine. Someone or something is watching. In the haunting solitude of the wilderness, it's not just the creatures of nature that blend into the shadows. Sometimes, far more sinister beings, dangerous people stalk the hidden trails. The infamous case of Gary Ridgway, better known as the Green River Killer, proves just how deadly the combination of a serial killer and a secluded forest can be. I could kill you, get caught, 'cause you're gonna get caught. I could kill a prostitute. Ridgway confessed to murdering 71 women in the 1980s and 90s, often dumping his victims' bodies in the wooded areas around the Green River in Washington state. The dense forest concealed his crimes for years, allowing him to continue his killing spree unabated. But the danger of serial killers in forests isn't limited to the United States. In 2014, a grisly discovery in Nigeria's Ososo forest brought the threat of these predators to the forefront once again. An abandoned building deep within the forest was found to contain human remains and personal belongings from numerous individuals. The items included ID cards, clothing, and even school uniforms, painting a chilling picture of the lives cut short by the unknown killer or killers who used the forest as their dumping ground. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.